This YouTube video is going to be a lot of me talking, and if you guys can pay attention to it, you guys will probably learn a thing or two, and that's my whole goal of making YouTube videos like these. If you guys continue watching this, I hope that you guys can learn a thing or two. And again, thanks for watching, and I hope you guys can subscribe. Alrighty. We are going to go over some ways that you are probably not roaming correctly. And a lot of people probably think roaming is the type of thing that you do whenever you're trying to go away from the objective and get kills, but that's not really what you want to do as a roamer. As a roamer, there are certain things. You could be a late flank roamer, you could be an early roamer like a cav, or just someone who sits across the map, or you can just be like a mid-round roamer. I'm gonna go over those three topics. The late roamer, I'm gonna start with the late roamer first. Alright, the late roamer. Late roamer is always, whenever you're getting close in a 1v1 situation, maybe 1v2 situation, the late roamer is always the person who does a late flank, maybe with 30 seconds left, to try to catch the other people off guard. So if two people are on this door, they're shooting at the site, and the other guy sneaks down the white stairs, rotates all the way over to main to flank, and that would be considered a late roam. And that is a really good flank that you guys can do. Probably really smart in that type of situation, because they're gonna know that you're over there. And that is one of the things. Whenever you're roaming, you don't want to go for kills. It sounds really stupid, but that is honestly the true fact. Whenever you're roaming, you want to delay time. You want to delay as much time as possible when you are roaming. So the second type of roamer is a mid roamer. A roamer, like a mid roamer, he's the type of person who usually stays in the site every now and then, and he will run out here and go over like armory. So he's kind of close to the objective if he needs to come back. So like sitting in armory mid round would be considered a mid roamer. That would be considered a mid roamer because he's away from the site, but he's not really far away from the site. So a mid roamer's job is to help. He's gonna help the team if they start pushing hard. So if they're getting attacked really hard, the mid roamer can come back to the site and he can help defend really quick. And so that is the two types of roamers right there. So we went over the late roamer, went over the mid roamer. So now we're gonna go over the beginning roamer. So the other roamer is like a cav, a Jaeger, anyone who sits really far away from the site in the very beginning of the round, and he roams the whole round. This guy's job, his job is to go away from the site, maybe play on cams, play for intel, wait until they hear someone pushing, and do a flank. The early roamer, he can always push back the site whenever he wants. He doesn't have to wait the whole round whenever he's roaming, because his whole plan is to waste as much time as possible. Because on the other team, if they know they have a roamer, they are probably going to be scared to push the site if they have a roamer. Because they are always going to be worried about that one roamer. And if that one roamer is wasting time, then it's always going to leave like an edge on the other team. And it's a really smart thing that you guys can do. Alright, so sorry about that. I should have made the rounds a little bit longer. So, talking about the early roamer. The early roamer's job is to waste as much time as possible. You do not want to go for kills. If you are the roamer, and say for instance, the main team, they're spraying open the main door at the very start of the round, and you were over by like dining or something, and you heard them spraying open that door, don't go rushing over here to 90, peeking garage, peeking main door. Like, that is the type of roamer that is trying to get kills, and that's not what your team needs. Your team needs a roamer who can stay alive long enough to do a late flank on them. The later the flank you do, the more likely they're not going to expect it. Because if you do a late flank really late in the round, they are not going to expect that. So the roamer's job as a defender is to waste time and not go for kills. Honestly, sometimes whenever, like, if your team is giving you a call out on where they are, but you're in a really good spot, just don't go for the kill. Because if you try going for the kill and you get exposed, then the rest of the round they're going to be following you around, and then they're probably going to pinch you somewhere on the map and then kill you. and then the early roamer is the very first person that's out of the game, and then that relieved all the stress from the attackers, and now they're pushing the site really hard on your team. The early roamer is the one person that you need to stay alive on your team. Alright, so another really big thing that we need to talk about is knowing where to go when you're roaming. So, as a Valkyrie, Valkyries always, they want to play vertical or they want to do runouts. Runouts are really risky, but if you're the type of player, go for it. Valkyrie is not the type of early roamer that you want to go for. But if you are the early roamer, so like a Jaeger or a Cav for this map, you want to find a spot where they will be pushing from and then just wait. So many people around my rank, I don't really know about you guys, but they like to push kitchen, go through this doorway, and push over there, and sometimes they'll play vertical. They'll play vertical right beneath here. So a good spot for an early roamer would be right here, maybe. Just watch this drone hole. You could also peek 90 through this drone hole, if you feel like you want to. And from this way, if you get droned out, all you have to do is just run around this way, watch the backside, or watch in front of you. And then if there's someone over here, you can just run up by over here and then push with a small tower. As a roamer, you always need to have a plan. So I'm not saying do exactly what I just did right there, because that's probably not going to work. You're probably gonna die. But if you're a roamer, I'm pretty sure everyone is smart enough to think about what they need to do. But if you're a roamer, think to yourself about what will I do in this situation if this happens to me. If they push from this wall, what am I going to do? If they push from over here and drone me out, what am I going to do? If this drone does not see me over here, then what I'm going to do? You always need to constantly think about what you're going to do in the situations as a roamer. And that also brings up the topic of map knowledge. If you know the map really well, and you have really well map knowledge, then you can know what to do in the certain situations. If you see that a drone is coming from over here, it basically means that there's someone over there. And if you have map knowledge, and you can hear, as soon as the guy gets off his drone, he's probably going to push meeting, and he's probably going to try to wallbang you. So if you see the drone coming from over here, and then you hear some guy sprinting, maybe you can look over here, start spraying, and that's the big door that might peek you from right there. So so you only want to roam on maps that you have good map knowledge for. Because if you don't know the map very well, and you don't know where to roam, where to sit, what to do in certain situations, then you should not be roaming on a new map that you don't know. So like for instance Chalet. Chalet's rework is pretty new, and if you don't know the map very well, then you probably should not be roaming. Even if Jackal's banned. Many people feel like, oh, Jackal's not banned, I'll just run around, see if I see someone and kill him. No, you always need to have a plan. Because roaming is not all about just getting kills for your team. Yes, that is one of the factors, but that's not what you want to do as a roamer. Is wasting time. It is delaying their push on the objective as long as you can. And then if they start pushing the objective hard and your team needs help, then you just slowly come back and help your team. And that's how you can easily help your team as a roamer.